Okay, I basically made this as a follow-up video to my Total Drama pairing video. This will be my fanfic review of World Tour Halfway Remix by Random Panda Attack, that by the way is one of my favorite writers. So what this is, it is a rewriting of the second half of Season 3 of Total Drama, also known as Total Drama World Tour. It starts at the end of the London episode, but instead of Duncan, it is Ezekiel that returns to the game, and Team Chris is really hot, wins that challenge. Now, what I love about Random Panda Attack's writing is that he is very faithful to the characters, and he makes the characters very likable. I think the one he writes best is Noah. He makes a mean Noah. Noah in this is just hilarious, and that's what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a funny smartass with all the snappy one-liners. And he has a lot of funny sarcastic dialogue here, like in the wedding challenge where the guy should gamble for a wife. Yeah, they changed it around a little bit here. He says, "Oh yay, time to find the love of my life." You know, very disinterested. And when he gets Eva, he is like, looks like it's you and me, Iron Woman." I can actually imagine Noah's body language as he speaks in this, and that really speaks volume for the quality of Random Panda's dialogue. Random Panda also changes some of the characters' actions, which makes them more likable, like when Duncan hits on Gwen. Gwen says that she won't betray Courtney's trust, and I was like, good on you, Gwen, for standing by your friend. But the big showstopper here is, of course, the relationship between Cody and Heather. As I said in my last video, Cody and Heather is my favorite Total Drama couple, and Random Panda's writing is a big reason for that. The same thing that happens to Duncan and Gwen in the series happens to Cody and Heather. And as before, Tyler tells everyone when they are in Greece, and when that happens, Alejandro, that we all know has a thing for Heather, gets really angry and punches Cody in the face. But Heather defends him and kicks Al in the nuts. Then everyone gathers around and asks her if it is true. And Heather, she's a bit afraid to admit that she's dating Cody. But Cody, he does something very sweet here. He stands beside her and he takes her hand and, smiles at her like, it's okay, everything will be okay. And, she admits that she and Cody is a couple. And she even says that she likes him a lot. Now, most of the others are okay with it, but Gwen tells Cody that Heather is evil and only uses him, but Cody responds without any hesitation, "No, Gwen, Heather is so much more than you think." And at that moment, I just meant that, like, "Aw, that's so sweet." The relationship is very tender and feels real because they stay in character. Heather is still a very sinister person, and the only one that she makes any exceptions for is her boyfriend. And even he can get under her scorn sometimes. There's one really good part here where Heather tells Cody that she is sorry for being so hard on him, sometimes. And Cody tells her that, yeah, she can be hard to deal with sometimes, but that's just how she is, and that he wouldn't change it for anything. Later, Gwen falls for Cody too, and at that moment I was like, wow, Cody. First Sierra, then Heather, then Gwen. For being a nerd, you got some serious game. Now, I have a love-hate thing with love triangles. Sometimes they work, like in Spectacular Spider-Man. Other times they fail and makes the characters look very unlikable, like in The Legend of Korra, for instance. Or with the entire Duncan, Courtney, Gwen thing that happened in Season 3. I think it works here though, because Cody, he handles it very well, because he don't want to hurt either of the girls, and he has had a crush on Gwen for a very long time, so of course it's very tempting for him, but he puts Heather's happiness in front of his own desires. At the same time, he is very understanding and delicate about Gwen's situation. So this entire love triangle part of the story actually makes Cody even more charming and a lot more admirable than he already is. There's one other pairing in this story, and that's Noah and Eva. And as much as I love Noah and Dawn together, I really like this pairing because it's kind of like a supervillain team-up where Noah is the brains and Eva is the muscles, and they form a very good team together. Eva turns to the game instead of blindly in this story, and Random Panda writes her very well. She is angry and brutal, of course, but he shows a side of her that most writers don't, and that is that she can be very cocky and happy when she succeeds at something. Eva and Noah works great as a team, as I said, and Eva is not only Noah's girlfriend, but also his bodyguard, so that's really cool. Also, in Area 52, Noah gets, and I'm not even kidding here, Noah gets a lightsaber. Yeah, and at that moment I was thinking, Jedi Noah. That is pretty freaking awesome. Another thing I really like in this story is the camaraderie between Ezekiel, Noah, and Tyler. You can really feel that these three have a very strong bond together. For instance, in Australia, Zeke gets lost and the others get really worried about him, and they even ask Chris if they could go looking for him. And partially because of him they lose, and Duncan, that is back in the game by this point, tells him that they will vote him off. But Tyler and Noah actually sticks up for Ezekiel and, tells Duncan to fuck off. And they even vote him off later. And yeah, Duncan probably is a better player than Zeke, but Noah and Tyler, they don't really care about that because they like their friend Ezekiel a lot more than Duncan. This fanfic also made me a fan of Tyler, and it isn't like he was a bad character before, but the show never used him well. I thought he was just used for comedic relief. Here we see that he's a very loyal friend and a moral person, so I can actually appreciate the character a lot more. There's also something very funny that happens to Chris here. He tampers with the votes so that Ezekiel gets voted off instead of Duncan, and Chef calls him on it, and Chris starts screaming, "This is my show, my rules, and I'm sending home the homeschooler." And it's really funny to see Chris's ego get the better of him. Due to this, he gets fired and Chef becomes the new host. And that's really interesting because one common criticism I have heard of Total Drama is that the rules don't make no sense. Well, that's kind of the point. It's supposed to be a satire on reality shows, and in most reality shows the hosts are not very fair to the players, so I appreciate that Random Panda brings that up. Another great thing about this story is that it constantly surprises me. This is not just season 3 with a few changes. This is almost like a complete rewriting. Very few things happens here that happened in the show, and the things that does is either really small or they are tweaked around a little bit. The only problem I really can find with this story is how short it is. It just ends after the Brazil challenge, and I would have loved to see how it ends. The last time this was updated was in October 2013, so I guess Random Panda just got bored with it and cancelled it. Actually, I know he cancelled it. So, do I consider this better than the canon? Let's see. It has Cody and Heather, my favorite total drama couple. More Noah and Ezekiel, that's always a plus. Courtney and Gwen is a lot more likable in this, and it has no stupid fucking songs. So yeah, I would consider this better than the original actual show. There are some more total drama fanfics I would love to recommend to you guys, but I think I will leave those for another time. Like before, I will leave a link to the story below, and I see you next time.